Yes, that's right, Sharon. We're under attack here from the climate. We've been hit by several heat bombs here in Ireland over the last few days. Met Éireann confirming that these heat bombs will continue to impact the citizens of Ireland, and of course our new citizens and our very, very, very dear friends from the Ukraine. All the heroes from the Ukraine that are also here are also being impacted by these heat bombs. Um, the heat bombs, of course, being generated by climate change, which of course is being fueled 100% by us eating meat. And Met Éireann has called for several cows to be taken out immediately to try and repel this latest heat attack, these heat bombs, which continue to drop here on the residents of this island. And we'll hand back to you in the studio where you might have more predictions about future days and future attacks from the heat. Back to you in the studio, Sharon. Sharon.
And now, with 41 reasons to pay your TV license, it's Here's What's On. 6:01, the news. 7 o'clock, all fired up. See Critics' Choice. 7:30, EastEnders. Elaine is determined to make things right between George and his daughters. Zach gets more than he bargained for when he creates a special night at the Prince Albert. At 8 o'clock, the Liffey. Stories of those who take inspiration from the river, including artist Fergal McCarthy, who has made the Liffey his gallery and the influence for much of his notable work. At 8:30, it's RTE's flagship programme, Fair City. Anna makes up with Gwen, but she and Sash make a worrying discovery, and Georgie secretly covers Gwen's tracks. Joan forces Kira to come clean to Mondo about her offer to get tested for being a donor, while Kelly fears she's doing more harm to Zoe by sticking around, but Hughie urges her to stick around. At 9, it's the news, and then at 9:35, prime time analysis of current affairs and topical reports hosted by Miriam O'Callaghan and Fran McNulty. On this week's programme, we will be discussing RTE salaries with Miriam O'Callaghan and her brother Jim O'Callaghan. TV at 10:15 will look like Face the Music, a programme for young people to dance and yet show their faces. At 11:15, it's Mehel, the story of a search and rescue operation off the coast of one of the coasts all around the area where we are. So it's back to you in studio. That has been this week in broadcasting. Fine. The headlines: the anti-TV licence fee protesters have been backed by Just Stop Oil. Marty Marcy makes a dash for an Uber outside Croke Park. Another Catholic emancipation from the ruling class could be on the cards in time for the 2028 bicentenary. Montrose's wheels have firmly come off the wagon, but the show rolls on. Yes, that's right, Brian. I'm here at Croke Park where Marty Morrissey's Uber driver has announced that he was actually a member of Just Stop Oil. This controversy begun this morning when a group of anti-TV licence fee protesters made their way into the Limerick dressing room. From there, they handed out large doses of what could only be described as substances found in the White House in the last few weeks. This has led to a defeat for Galway, who led by 6 points in the first half. Marty Morrissey was the actual victor here, although Limerick may be in the final. More confirmations this evening that the underground butcher, which has been taking place on Tusla's watch, is set to get a remake and a rename. In other breaking news this evening, the government have announced that the end to the licence fee will be monitored by a special accounts committee who will look at the income of those paying the licence fee on Christmas week. It is expected that if you have less than €4 in your bank account, you too could be relieved from paying the TV licence fee, as long as you subscribe to the app on your phone, where you will get a free subscription to Claire Byrne in the Shed and whatever else she said. That podcast, of course, is similar to when U2 put their album on something for free. If you pay this, if you pay your TV license, you could avoid jail. But if you, as I say, can prove that you are on the bones on Christmas week in 2024, you could be overlooked by the judicial system, but it is all to play for. And of course, Ryan Tubridy is keeping his silence golden on this issue. That gold, of course, being pillaged from the TV licence taxpayer, who is facing a winter of discontent with the lack of programming which will suitably entertain those who pay the. More on that, you can log on and find your say by should we abolish the fee? Should we abolish the building? Should we abolish Ryan Tubridy? Should we abolish D4, or should we abolish D Forbes? It's back to you in studio, Brian. We can see that Ryan Tubridy, who has been silenced now for closer to a week and a half than a week, or a week, could mean that his position is weakened. We should know all this by the weekend. But next this evening, we go to Carrickglen, where the cost of water is now 39 pence per litre, and that's if you just get it from a tap. Tusla will be looking into that, and Greta Thunberg sends a note of forgiveness and appreciation for her leading role in a Zoom call with Mary Robinson, who's had nothing to say on anything at all except for her climate change conference.
Yes, that's right, Sharon. We've caught up here with a few citizens who are genuinely and sincerely concerned about climate change and the impacts of climate change on Ireland and rural Ireland in particular, it has to be stressed. These walking future tins of dog food are concerned about rumours, reports and innuendos about the culling of the so-called national herd. The national herd, of course, being independent farmers and their independently purchased and reared herds of walking tins of dog food.
Yes, Brian, and we do have some Vox Populi from the capital, where some journalists, after their protest outside the building here in RT, got back in the saddle, as it were, Brian, and interviewed large amounts of people on the streets to see if they could tally favour with the public to keep supporting their jobs. So this is what they had to say. As promised, the shit would hit the fan, and it did. And we know a small part in the destruction of RT's reputation as a truth-seeking industrial complex, with its slush funds and its board of DEs and its board of CEs and financial opportunists, all in a state of silence, just like Ryan Tubridy.
Yes, that's right, Sharon. We expect to hear live from An Taoiseach any second now.
And for the rest of you, a big pat on the back, and that's a big, hard Pat Kenny scratch in your